top stories tonight in Wine News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. urges all Filipinos to be the tourism ambassadors and influencers of the Philippines. The newly appointed Presidential Advisor on Poverty Alleviation, Secretary Larry Gadon, has stressed that he did pay attention to the disbarment rendered by the Supreme Court. The National Water Resources Board plans to reduce water allocation for Metro Manila starting next month. And Canada's intense wildfire smoke spreads across North America and causing significant air quality concerns. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Wednesday, June 28, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite. We are also seen and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Elsie Marcos. First in the news. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. called on all Filipinos to be the country's tourism ambassadors and influencers, saying that the greatest asset of Filipinos is their genuine warmth and hospitality. Nel Maribohok reports.
Be our country's top influencers. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said this to encourage Filipinos to be the country's own advocates for tourism as the government unveiled its new tourism slogan.
I call on the entire Filipino nation to allow yourselves to be our country's tourism ambassadors. I enjoin you all to be our country's promoters, advocates, and if I may borrow a coined term in this age of social media, be our country's top influencers.
The President witnessed the launching of Department of Tourism's new campaign slogan, Love the Philippines. He encouraged Filipinos to take pride and celebrate the love for the Philippines and its people, noting that this same love will propel the country's tourism industry forward. The chief executive also affirmed the administration's commitment to advancing the country's tourism industry. The president expressed optimism that the Philippines will become the tourism powerhouse of Asia.
The five-year plan stemmed from this administration's determination to implement programs that will positively transform our country towards being a tourism powerhouse in Asia in the coming years.
Nel Maribohok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Department of Finance Secretary Benjamin Jokno has defended the proposed 5% contribution ratio for military and uniformed personnel or MUP pension system. According to the Secretary, they are already engaging in discussions with stakeholders to help them understand the importance of this contribution. During the time of former President Fidel Ramos, military personnel stopped contributing to their pension. The projected unfunded liabilities have reached over 9 trillion pesos. The purpose of the MUP pension reform, as stated by the economic manager of the Marcos administration, is to prevent fiscal collapse.
They have to contribute. Hindi naman pwede kang nag-enjoy ka ng pension mo na hindi ka na-contribute sa system. There's no such thing as a pension system like that.
The newly appointed Presidential Advisor on Poverty Alleviation stressed that he is not affected by the recent disbarment penalty proposed by the Supreme Court against him. Dante Amento tells us why.
Lorenzo Larry Gadon has yet to take his oath before President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. as Presidential Advisor on Poverty Alleviation. And today, the Supreme Court issued a statement that it has disbarred Gadon for cursing and uttering profane language against journalist Raisa Robles. But Gadon stressed he did not pay attention to the disbarment rendered by the court. As long as he enjoys the trust and confidence of the President, he will focus on his new job as a government official to help the administration, particularly in the poverty alleviation aspect.
Hindi ako nalulungkot dyan. In fact, masaya ako dahil kasi this is my opportunity to give back to our kababayans. Hindi ito apektado sa akin. At natutuwa naman ako dahil the Honorable Executive Secretary has already issued a statement that this has nothing to do with my position as Secretary of the Presidential Advisor on Poverty Alleviation.
Gadon added he will file a motion for reconsideration at the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, his legal team revealed they have not received yet a copy of the court's decision.
As long as may remedy pa o remedyo mag-file ng motion for reconsideration, it means hindi pa final ang desisyon ng Supreme Court. Yes, as lawyer, we are lawyer here, may obligation kami, and part as officer of the court, we will respect and we will always respect the decision of the Supreme Court.
Gadon's team refused to discuss over the merits of the issue and the argument on their motion. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Senate Blue Ribbon Committee Chairperson Senator Francis Tolentino said they will have a meeting. This is to discuss their plan to file a motion for reconsideration on the recent ruling by the Supreme Court declaring Republic Act 11935 unconstitutional. It is the law signed by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., postponing the December 5, 2022 Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections or BSKE to October 30, 2023. But Tolentino clarified they respect the wisdom of the High Court on the issue.
But we respect the decision of the Supreme Court as a co-equal branch of government. We agree that there should be periodic elections. Napahaba yung postponement ng barangay.
And foreign news abroad, Canadian wildfires have unleashed a surge of smoke spreading across North America and causing significant air quality concern. Joselito Liquido will tell us why live. Yes, Joselito?
Good evening, Elsie. Canadian wildfires have caused severe air pollution in U.S. cities like Chicago and Detroit. Smoke from the fires has spread across the Great Lakes region and parts of the central and eastern United States, raising concerns about air quality. On Tuesday, the Environmental Protection Agency's website identified Illinois, Lower Michigan, and southern Wisconsin as having the worst air quality in the country. Cities including Chicago, Detroit, and Milwaukee experienced very unhealthy air conditions. Minnesota issued a record 23rd air quality alert, while Michigan and Wisconsin issued alerts and advisories. Health officials advised limiting outdoor activities to minimize exposure to these particles, as wildfire smoke contains mold particles that can cause irritation to the eyes, nose, and throat, and having detrimental effects on the heart and lungs, making breathing difficult. Chicago authorities also advised vulnerable individuals to minimize outdoor exposure, prompting daycare centers to keep children indoors and youth sports club to adjust activities accordingly. As of Monday, the Canadian Interagency Forest Fire Center recorded a record-breaking 76,129 square kilometers of land, including forest, burned in Canada in 2023. Currently, 490 fires are still active, with 255 out of control. Back to you, Elsie.
Thank you, Joselito Liquido. A new initiative led by Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, would investigate a new scheme to stockpile experimental vaccines for rare infectious diseases, also known as the Global Virtual Pooled Inventory or GVPI. Details of the scheme are still being worked out by Gavi and its partners, but it aims to get vaccines to be tested more quickly and respond to outbreaks faster than when they arise. The new scheme involves the World Health Organization or WHO and the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations. The free global health bodies will initially focus on two deadly viral hemorrhagic fevers in Africa, the Marburg virus and the Sudan strain of Ebola. No existing or proven treatments and vaccines are available for both infections. If successful, the GVPI scheme could potentially become a pilot for other deadly diseases, as well as play a role in wider pandemic preparedness. We'll share more global stories with you later. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. More reasons behind the stories when Wine News returns. The Department of Transportation stated that by July, the contract for the supply of blank metal plates will be awarded to a pre-qualified bidder. JP Nunez details why.
1 out of 3 bidders has successfully passed the early stage of the procurement process for the blank metal plates that will be used for the production of license plates. The live bidding was conducted by the Department of Transportation or DOTR on Monday, June 26. According to the DOTR, they may award the contract to the bidder next month once they pass the detailed evaluation.
So by July, we can expect that we will be having an award soon, if walang madi-disqualify.
Once they are qualified and capable of supplying the blank metal plates, they will be given a notice to proceed. According to the DOTR, the earliest possible time for the Land Transportation Office or LTO to receive the first delivery of new blank plates will be in October. It will be 90 days after they are given a notice to proceed.
It's 90 days yung first delivery. Kasi ito, unlike yung ID, kasi mas maliliit yung items, and printing, ito maraming raw materials ito and mas malaki yung approved budget for the contract, yung volume natin dito.
The first delivery is expected to consist of 1.65 million pieces of blank plates, with a total of 11.5 million pieces for the entire contract. Based on the previous pronouncement of the LTO, their supply of blank plates across the country is expected to start depleting by June or July. The DOTR Central Office is in charge of the procurement process for the new supply of blank plates. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The National Water Resources Board will reduce water allocation from Metro Manila starting next month. Thousands of customers would experience water service interruptions. Ray Pelayo explains why.
The water level of Angat Dam is continuously decreasing. As of 6 a.m. today, it is measured at 183.52 meters, which is over 3 meters higher than the minimum operate level. The National Water Resources Board, or NWRB, stated that the water allocation for domestic use in Metro Manila for July has reduced to 50 cubic meters per second from 52 CS.
Nating reply na kailangan sa agad pa rin ipangunta ng LDC na kailangan talaga natin yung personal supply at talaga pagkaktaan.
The Metropolitan Water Works and Sewerage System, or MWSS, mentioned that around 632,000 connections will be affected, primarily in elevated areas such as parts of Caloocan and Manila. Affected residents may experience 6 to 10 hours of reduced pressure or no water supply.
So we're looking into it naman po na if possible, hindi siya maging worse. Kumbaga, ang gagawin po natin is bawasan po natin yung mga pressure para hindi siya ma-maximize yung number of hours na 10 hours yung worst na ma-experience mga customers po natin.
The MWSS and concessionaires have expressed their commitment to expedite the repair of pipe leaks and the establishment of facilities to augment water supply. Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Aid will be provided once again to the evacuees in Santo Domingo, Albay, who have complained about the lack of relief goods. The local government is also making ongoing efforts to collaborate with other groups or organizations that can offer assistance. Alan Manansala details why.
Some residents are now being asked to evacuate the extended danger zone of Barangay Lidong, Santo Domingo, Albay, which spans 7 kilometers. It is reported that after they relocated from Santo Domingo Central School, which served as their evacuation center, to Sitio Bicol, Barangay Salvacion, they have not received any aid.
Sige, sabi, day pa man. Matagal man. Dito sa ngayon bagas mi. Madong kilo na sa naiya. Ba't mag-rasyon niya?
1 week na po muna na. Di na po na wala mo talaga. Dahil man po nakatanggap. Warang rasyon.
However, Engineer Ed Balidoy, the head of the Operation Center of Santo Domingo Local Government Unit or LGU, explained that the family food packs provided by the Department of Social Welfare and Development or DSWD last for 2 to 3 days. Therefore, their aid distribution occurs every 3 days.
Pinipacing lang namin dahil baka mag-over, naman tayo. Bukas, sir, magbibigay kami. Kasi may nagbigay, sir, nung every 3 days, may nagbigay. Binibigyan namin every 3 days. Wala, naman yun. Wala namang, sir, na hindi nagbibigay. Nagbigay lang nung linggo. O, di 3 days na yun. Bukas, magbigay naman kami.
The provincial government of Albay continues to establish contact with non-government agencies that also intend to provide aid to the affected families. Based on DSWD data, over 90 million pesos has already been distributed to more than 5,000 displaced families due to the eruption of Mayon volcano, including over 20 million pesos from non-government agencies. Alan Manansala, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Four people have died and several others have been injured in a crowded city center in the Donetsk region of Ukraine. Ryuji Sasaki will tell us why live. Good evening, Ryuji.
Good evening, Elsie. A Russian missile has struck a shopping area and a restaurant in Kramatorsk, eastern Ukraine on Tuesday. Operations are underway to rescue people who are trapped under the rubble. Regional Governor Pavlo Kirilenko stated that the restaurant and other public areas were crowded with civilians when the missiles hit, resulting in injuries to at least 40 people, including an 8-month-old baby and 3 foreigners. In his daily address, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky offered his condolences to the affected families and condemned Russia's attacks.
Надається допомога, триває розбір завалів. Кожен такий прояв терору знову і знов доводить і нам, і усьому світу, що Росія заслуговує лише на одне за наслідками усього, що вона наробила: поразку та трибунал, справедливі та законні суди проти усіх російських вбивць і терористів.
Kramatorsk, with a population of 150,000, has consistently been targeted by missiles since the start of the war and remains one of the largest areas still under Ukrainian control in the east. Back to you, Elsie.
Thank you, Ryuji Sasaki, reporting live from Japan. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. In other news, the Department of Migrant Workers aims to streamline the deployment procedure of Filipino seafarers and plans to deploy 400,000 crew members this year, aiming to reach pre-pandemic levels. Janice Inhente will tell us why.
To fast-track the deployment of Filipino seafarers, the Department of Migrant Workers or DMW is now simplifying the application process for jobs in cruise ships, shipping companies, and other positions in the global maritime industry. DMW Undersecretary Hans Leo Kakdak stated that the deployment process, which used to take 4 weeks, can now be shortened to at least 7 days.
Binaba na natin sa 5 to 4 days, well, 7 to 5 to 4 days, no, ang processing ng mga seafarers manning agency accreditation hanggang sa pag-issue ng OEC or ng clearance, no, para makasakay sa barko ang mga seafarers.
This initiative is also a response to the request of the group of manning agencies to expedite the deployment of their applicants and enable them to start their jobs sooner.
Yung pag-enroll ng mga barko, minsan napakatagal din dahil nga it takes 4 weeks. Minsan kasi ang mga ship owners, pagka nangailangan ng seafarer, gusto nila bukas, ando na. Kasi merong proseso ng DMW na dapat talaga ma-enroll muna yung mga barko. It is a security measure para talagang merong barkong pupuntahan ng mga seafarers natin.
Kung gagawin po nilang 1 week, it's a good sign po kasi hindi na kami maghintay ng 4 months, 6 months, like po nung before ng work. Nung before nang nag-apply po ako, umabot ng 6 months, 4 months yung paghihintay ko po.
Hindi masasayang panahon namin kakahintay dito sa Pilipinas, nakakalisagad lahat.
According to the DMW, the government's target is to deploy 400,000 seafarers this year and reach pre-pandemic levels by the end of the year.
We are going back to the pre-pandemic levels, but yes, not there yet. But yun nga, we will best the 2022 record on track, no? To best the 2022 record to breach the 400,000 mark. So we're hoping and praying na mga job facilitation efforts na katulad nito ay magbibigay ng trabaho at mauugnay ang seafarers sa mga trabaho.
Mas marami ngayon ang mga cruise vessels kasi nagbabalik na nga ang tourism. So nangailangan ngayon ng mas maraming hotel staff, mga marino na sasampa sa mga cruise vessels.
Earlier, the DMW Central Office conducted its first seafarer job fair, where nearly 3,000 applicants came to apply for jobs. Around 1,500 positions were offered for ratings and officer positions, as well as various job openings in cruise ships. Janice Enhente, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Philippine Federation of Professionals Association says one way to address shortage of nurses in the country is by offering nursing scholarship to students. Gladys Tawabi explains why.
Shortage of nurses is felt in the Philippines, especially in the private hospitals. Dr. Josarina de Grano says around 5,000 to 6,000 nurses in the private hospitals left their job to work abroad.
Kung makikita natin, talagang in demand ang Filipino nurses sa abroad kasi as of now ngayon, kahit walang experience, kukunin na nila at sila na magtitrain doon.
In line with this, the Philippine Federation of Professional Associations says one way to address shortage of nurses in the country is for the government to offer more scholarship for nursing.
Natin mag-offer ng mga nursing courses sa ating mga state university, damihan nila, pero dapat hindi naman bababa yung kalidad. At siguro kailangan pa rin magdagdag tayo ng scholarship para sa ating mahihirap na mga kababayan, mga estudyante para makapasok ng nursing.
Meanwhile, PFPA do not see any wrong with hiring nursing graduates to work as nursing assistants since private hospitals have been doing the same thing already. Instead, it calls the government to help private hospitals compensate its nurses.
Ang iba, nagtitraining sa mga private hospital, lalo na sa mga level 3, tapos lumilipat sila sa mga government hospitals kasi mataas ang sweldo doon. Ayun dapat siguro ang tuunan na sweldo ng mga nursing graduates natin sa private.
PFPA appreciates the plan of the Department of Health of creating a nursing advisory council as it will help address the current issues of nurses in the country. Gladys Tuwabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Environment and Natural Resources has been conducting cumulative impact assessment on 22 reclamation projects in Manila Bay. Meanwhile, some fisherfolks group raised concern against the reclamation. Bernadette Tinoy details why.
The Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or DENR, conducts a cumulative impact assessment on the 22 reclamation projects in Manila Bay. Environment Secretary Maria Antonia Yulo Loizaga stated that this action is taken after they observed some violations by developers which they have classified and identified.
Globally po ang practice, whenever you have several projects in a single ecosystem, you need a cumulative impact assessment. And so we are undertaking that.
Loizaga also emphasized the importance of the assessments as it will affect the agency's rehabilitation project in Manila Bay in accordance with the 2011 writ of continuing mandamus by the Supreme Court.
So we have a mandamus that we need to implement. That's by law already, by the decision of the Supreme Court. And we need to also now actually evaluate the cumulative impact of all of those projects together.
Meanwhile, the Fishers Group Pamalakaya has mentioned the violations of the reclamation projects as they destroy the livelihood of fishermen and marine resources.
Totally, pinatay mo yung corals, pinatay mo yung mangrove area, pinatay mo yung mga seagrasses, totally, pinatay mo yung Manila Bay.
Pamalakaya Chairperson Fernando Hicap also expressed the need to stop the reclamation projects due to their destructive impact on the environment.
Hindi tayo nagtigil dyan sa tuloy-tuloy na rally, dialogo sa mga local government agency. Ituring, no? Na ang ating isda ay hindi lang isda kundi ituring natin na ito ay yaman ng ating pangisdaan. At yaman ito ng ating bansa na dapat nating pangalagaan, i-develop.
Bernadette Tinoy, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Our Kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with the word giving glory to God. From the book of Philippians chapter 1 verse 9, it says, "And this I pray, that your love may abound yet more and more in knowledge and in all judgment." And those are the reasons behind the news of June 28, 2023. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am Elsie Marcos, live from Auckland, New Zealand. We serve the people, we give glory to God.